And we're live? We're totally live. We're probably live.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Hello and welcome everyone to another patron chat. Yay! The bi-weekly chance to do some hobbying, or at least think about hobbying and discuss hobbying and enjoy a little bit of peace for a bit. So, it's been a crazy October. I know we only streamed once in October, and part of the reason for that was the next stream date actually fell over Valhalla, and I partially wondered whether or not we'd be able to film and do a live stream that day, but it definitely did not work out. And it's really chaotic because when Valhalla's going, like, there's so much going on all the time, it's really hard to set aside much time. So I was going to recap kind of some of that adventure for you, and some of you in the chat were there with me, so I'm excited to see you all here as well. Say hi to everybody in the chat real quick. Michael Gray. I don't know if you're still here, Michael, but thanks for popping by. War Budgies, I know you were there, and War Budgies, if you check out his channel, he actually did a cool vlog showing his trip to Valhalla, and he took the Amtrak this year. So definitely worth checking out. He and I did a quick Warcaster battle report, so keep an eye out for that as well. Austin, welcome to the chat. Todd, welcome. Hello. Thanks for being here. Hey, Jeremy. I'm live. How are you? We're doing it live. Buongiorno. Hey, Melinda. How you doing, girl?
Hello.
Shale, good to be here. Or good to have you here. Valhalla is madness, this is the truth. Yes. I like to walk around and meet strangers, buy them drinks, and see the viewing car. Oh, so you ride coach for that reason. I've never been on an Amtrak, but after hearing War Budgies discuss his experience doing that this year, I think I'm going to have to give it a try.
Yeah, that might be fun.
Well, I don't know. I haven't decided on Adepticon yet. And so if we go...
That's okay. I'm pretty sure Adepticon hasn't decided on Adepticon yet.
No, Adepticon, it's committed to. And there's a hotel block, but it's between two hotels. It's coming back even bigger. So that'll be interesting to check out. And after a certain size of convention, like I remember going to PAX 2012, and it just isn't that fun after it gets so big, because anything you want to do, you have to wait in line for a long time for. You have to really pre-plan your day in order to get the most out of it.
You mean you don't get celebrity privileges, Miranda?
No, not at all.
You can't just show up and like people let you in line?
Oh my gosh. As much as I would dream about that, that wouldn't even be fair, so no. No, I don't get that. But, I mean, I'm just saying, like, as far as the size, like, I don't think I'll ever go to San Diego Comic-Con when there's 60 or 70,000 people in attendance. Or, what is it? Oh my god, the one in Indianapolis. Not Origins, the board game one. What the heck am I thinking of? Anyway, it's enormous. And I don't think I would go to that because you're just like smooshing through people all the time. It's just not as fun. Many people.
Flo can't handle that many people.
Jeremy, let's all take the train to Adepticon. Ooh, that'd be sweet if they had like this whole group deal. Unfortunately, we'd all have to probably get on at the same point. So, anyway, yeah. So
I vote you all come here.
Come to Albuquerque, and then we'll all take off. I'm sure there are nicer cities to leave from. Poor old Albuquerque is Adepticon doesn't open regular registration until like December, right? Gen Con, thank you, Jeremy. I don't know. I thought it had already opened. I thought the hotel block had already opened, but maybe not. So if that's the case, if I go to Adepticon, I think we'll try out the whole train thing, because that would be like 22 or 24 hours in a train. So, you know, that's a good way to just try it out for the first time. It's like really try it out. And if I have a sleeper car, then it's basically like teleporting, because I'll just sleep most of the time. It'll be great. So,
be the only time you get sleep for it.
Yeah, that's true. I always leave Adepticon way more tired than when I arrived. Well, it's hard because you get there and there's all your con friends and there's all the events going on and there's the big bit spin and all the vendor hall and then the tournaments. And you want to participate in as much of it as possible. And then you end up staying up late and you're just chatting with people in the bar area and, doing the whole social thing. And then you get no sleep. You, by day 3, look kind of horrible for it. That's okay. Jeremy, I would have to take 2 or 3 different trains to get to your city. One shot to just get to Chicago. Oh, no, I don't blame you. That's totally fine. Maybe I should come up to you and then go to Chicago. So yeah. Anyway. So this is still a paint and chat. And even though I'm yammering away, I've got dear Flo, my talented artist friend, actually doing painting today. What are you working on, Miss Flo?
I'm working on some Necron bases.
Beautiful. I see a lot of green. That's supposed to be luminescent?
Will be, eventually,
Okay.
after like the 3rd or 4th layer.
Well, yeah. Just, we have to start somewhere. Actually, I'm going to steal that for a second and put it up closer to the camera. Yoink. You can kind of see the detail in that, maybe? Yeah, there we go. So that's where we're starting. So, and then we'll see what it looks like in an hour. Oh, sorry. There you go. So what are you guys all working on in the chat? Are you guys working on any hobbying or just hanging out? Are you going to play any more Space Hulk in the future? Hold that thought, because short answer, yes. Long answer is the longer answer later. Also, hi Paul, and thank you for being here in the chat. He and I are going to roll up with some phasmophobia after this because apparently I like getting scared.
And apparently she's the worst.
And I am also, no, not just me. To be fair, my brothers and I were all the worst. Our family is terrible at this game.
It was a family effort.
Warbudgie's working on packing for Warfare Weekend, mostly. Yes, so Warfare Weekend is this upcoming weekend, the 5th through the 7th, formerly War Machine Weekend, now Warfare Weekend, and the huge dynamic quality of life update dropped the day before Valhalla ended, so I didn't look at it until after I got back, and, I looked at it, right after the event, I guess, and so we can talk a little bit about that, too. That's nifty. Nicholas. That's what cons are all about. Socializing. Sleep comes afterwards, usually at work. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Austin, just chilling in an empty room. That actually sounds lovely.
Miranda doesn't know what an empty room feels like.
Yet. We'll get to that, too. Warbudgie is working on packing. Yes. Jeremy. Rebuilding my Team Yankee armies from the move. They did not survive.
Oh, no.
Is it all plastic, or are they going to be salvageable, Jeremy? I hope so. Shale. Eyeballs deep in Blender. Making an Overlord dropship for Battletech. Ooh, that sounds fun. And way to go with your Blender skills. Let's see. Todd, building the last member of my Jedza Explorers Society crew for Malifaux. Malifaux's another one that we need to get back to exploring. Let's see.
Working on it.
J.S. Ramirez casting a sword bit for conversions should be fun. If anyone has played Phasmophobia, I need Miranda in the van. Well, that's good, because that's what you're going to have. You're going to have me in the van, hiding the whole time. Maybe crouched, because I accidentally hit that button. Lighting a candle. Which I don't know. Whatever. Oh, no, the crucifix that keeps you from getting hunted. I don't know. So I have way too many hobbies. I don't know if you guys have this problem. Please let me know if you have this problem. I grew up playing lots of video games, and I thought, oh, this is my hobby. This is, I'm good at video games or whatever, right? Like, I loved RPGs and strategy games and adventure games, and platformers were a weaker point, but I didn't suck at them necessarily. So, that was my thing. And then I'm like, oh, tabletop hobbying, this is great. Oh, sewing, this is great. Oh, video editing, this is great. And now, I mean, Paul can tell you, because I'm usually like, yeah, let's play Vermintide, and then I just never show up online because I don't even get to my computer to open Steam or play any video games. I barely play video games anymore. And it kind of makes me sad, but then I'm kind of like, I don't know. Is that a waste of time? Like, are video games the same level of hobby as, like, tabletop hobbying? Because there's more aspects to it. So, I mean, you can be social playing video games, which Phasmophobia is, which is kind of the fun thing about it. Because you're interacting with your friends or your family as you do a terrible job identifying ghosts. But yeah, it's been kind of a weird thing. Let's see. Sounds awesome. Yeah, and if you want to see me play Phasmophobia, I actually did upload a stream right before Valhalla of me playing with my brothers. We were so bad. Funny. Thank you, Melinda. Yeah. I'm working on a book cover for a job I don't have yet. Cute fuzzy animals, though. I love it.
I mean, whatever gets you inspired, right?
Well, yeah, and it's sort of like a proof of concept for her. And, whatever happens with the job situation, you still have a book cover that's yours. Austin, video gaming can be just as intense. Well, I know it can be just as intense and even, like, plenty challenging. I just wonder whether or not it's, like, as enriching. I don't even know if I'm finding the right word for it, because I'm not, like, dumping on video games at all. Like, again, I grew up playing them and really quite enjoy them. And I keep wanting to finally, like, buy a Nintendo Switch and play Breath of the Wild, because it's my favorite franchise in all of the planet of Earth. And I still haven't done it. Because I haven't been able to justify buying a video game system, because I'm like, no, I really need to work on video stuff. I've been making costumes and so I don't know. It's
not as lucrative, at least not for you.
Definitely not. Hi, Andrew. Welcome. So yeah, so that's what we're doing afterward. I'm gonna hang out. I'm actually gonna hang out and be social with my friend. Poor Paul is just sitting here, like, moderating my chats every couple of weeks. Is the only time he sees me, other than when I'm, like, complaining to him via Discord. Like, everything's so messy. What's up with these new kill team rules? This is stupid. Anyway, let me go over our Valhalla trip, and then we can talk about some dynamic updates, and then I've got other updates for you. On the miscellaneous front, because I'm going to interrupt myself again. The last time we did a live show, we talked about, I think it was the last time, I was talking about my IMDb profile, which is the Internet Movie Database, and I had asked you guys to look me up on it to see whether or not it changed the algorithm, and it totally did. I shot up, like, 100,000 plus, like, in rating from, like, I don't know, 250,000 something to, like, 48,000. So it's really, really awesome. Then I tanked again to, like, 500,000. But that's okay, because now we know how the algorithm works. And we are gamers after all. So what I've decided, because I do better when I'm in petty competition, apparently. So I just want to stay above my friend Dave at Mini Wargaming. So I'm gonna compare him and myself over the next several months, because he's up higher than me, and he's bid in more stuff for now, and so I keep checking that out. But thank you to everybody who checked out my IMDb profile, because that was a really interesting proof of concept, and now I know how that works. And if you feel like doing it again, just please feel free.
You didn't do it the first time.
Yeah, if you didn't do it the first time, just check it out. We complain equally. Let's see. Warbudgies, I get a lot of narrative ideas out of video games, so my hobby feeds my other hobbies in a horrifying loop. You do keep the ideas rolling. But do you have, like, how to play X in 5 minutes? Because I feel like you get real creative with those. Let's see. Jeremy, I'm like 2 battles away from beating Breath of the Wild, and we lost the game in the move, so I don't want to spend $60 for a game that's so old. Oh, whatever. I will literally rebuy Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, because I know you can play that on the Switch. And that's after I bought those games again for the Nintendo 3DS. I love those games so much. Just finished playing World of Warships. Now I have ice on an injured ankle, and was hoping to hear about Valhalla. Well, we are going to get there.
Eventually.
About that made me feel like a stalker. Okay, more of a stalker than usual. That's okay. There's a piece of wargaming content world. Then the IMDb wars began. Just him and I. We're the only ones who actually care about competing in that world, so. I actually 100% completed Breath of the Wild. Oh, I will someday. All right, let's pop it. Valhalla 2021. I have 30 pictures in here. Let's see if I can get this up. So, here we go. First off, shopping. This was the initial shopping trip that happened after we arrived in Utah, because we basically have to arrive to Utah, then we rent a U-Haul van, and we fill it with all kinds of stuff. So this was the amount of just the junk food. This is completely separate of the caterer who provides the 3 square meals a day. Oh, plus dessert. Oh, and she was so above and beyond this year too. She made some cupcakes for our special event. She made a birthday cake for one of our guests. So it was a really magical time. Will Dave not recognize my name and murder me? Don't think he can see who's looking at it. So that was our snack themed. And while I was on the topic of shopping, I did pop by. My friend Gary owns a game store. He owns Blackfire Games in Pleasant View, Utah, and Pleasant Grove. I don't know. It's something pleasant. He has a game store there. And so I bought myself some more 40K stuff because I can't not. And he gave a discount for people attending Valhalla, so I was like, all right. And that's actually not even all that I bought. I got another Lehman Russ tank after the fact in a Valkyrie. So my Catachans are getting outfitted, guys. Dan had arrived. He snuck in from Canada, which made me super happy, and then he taught me how to play disc golf. So we found right near the hotel, there's like a Coca-Cola bottling plant, totally private land. But it was a Sunday, and they had a disc golf course on it. So we just like walked over there and just threw some discs, and it was super fun, and I loved it, and it was so fun to see my friend again. Pleasant Grove, that's my favorite shop. Oh, nice. Yes, sorry, that is what I meant to say. Hey, Teenums, how you doing? Welcome. All praise Danielle, patron saint of Valhalla Nourishment. That girl works her butt off. And yes, Dan. So, he was there. He was my only international friend. So, the cabin itself, and it was kind of a sad thing, the cabin itself has this cool Bullwinkle-themed room. There's one of the lower rooms, completely themed in Bullwinkle, and then there's just all these bins of Lincoln logs. Because back in September, well, it was going to be themed that way anyway, but back in September they had a Guinness Book of Records challenge to build the largest Lincoln log cabin. And so that happened there, and so there's this whole theme. But this Bullwinkle themed room also has this vintage Bullwinkle pinball machine. Now, in past years, our guests would get in and play and get the high score, but this year it was missing parts, and supply chain issues being what they were weeks out from being able to get it repaired. So by the time we arrived, we couldn't use it. But I took a picture of it because it's nice. All right, so for the game rooms. So this is night 1, and this is just getting started because we come in Sunday evening, and Danielle, our caterer, she goes and starts cooking to get the big meal ready. And then the rest of us are bringing in stuff to start setting up the tables. And so this is obviously not fully completed yet, but this is what we got done by the time dinner started. And this wasn't me. This was actually the Bolt Action guys. So Ruben, Ray, and Ty, who were the guys kind of heading up the whole Bolt Action campaign this year, did a fantastic job. They brought in these beautiful 3 4-foot tables, so 12 feet of just town terrain, and it ends at like a waterway, and it actually looks like a logical, coherent town. And I didn't get a chance to get another demo with him this year, but they did a bunch of demos. Warlord was super awesome and actually provided like product support to give to people who played games there, and so it was super, super fun. And gosh, they make such beautiful tables. Here's like another view of it. So that's sort of in front of the big fireplace, which heats the area. And then that window during the day just looks out on a huge mountain landscape. But that cabin has a 360-degree mountain landscape that you can look out at. It's fantastic. The competition in past years has gotten straight vicious over the pinball machine. I know, but the important thing is none of our guests that broke the machine. They just didn't have it fixed in time. Some more shots. You can see the waterway along the right side of it, and it's just, they did such a good job. They made such a cinematic looking landscape to play in, and it's just so gorgeous. So they did a great job. Warlord was super awesome in their support, and I am grateful to them. I think that's an identical picture. Okay, so we had Sean from Blue Table Painting, and he was DMing, and he was doing his ultimate D&D thing, and he kind of, I think, has perfected his formula this year. So he came in. That's a 3D printed dinosaur. It's so beautiful. Beautifully painted. Like these gorgeous, gorgeous models he had. Tons of models out that people could play with, and really beautiful terrain board in another part of the cabin. So that was a whole hosted, awesome event as well that happened over the multiple days. This is Steven. You might recognize him more by Budgies. He hosted a dungeon crawl campaign, which, I don't want to brag, but basically that I won. It was me who won that. You'll see that in a minute. So they were hosting this cool dungeon crawl where people could sign up and see how fast they could get through a dungeon and in how many rounds. So that was super fun and tracked.
It was competitive, so of course Miranda really liked it.
And I don't know why it's showing that again. We already saw the food.
You can see the food again.
Oh my god, this thing. Did it just not load all the pictures? So this was giving me issues right beforehand. Nope, it's there. Like, they're literally there. I'm just going to delete some of these out. See how it feels about that. Oh. Or
now it freezes.
Oh god, I just crashed it. I just crashed it.
Way to break stuff.
Dude, for real. Okay, there we go. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. Load up. So let's see if we can find it again. Okay, that one loaded. I won Eternal Fame and Glory. That's the only thing that matters. There were technically some other people with me, and they won it too. But, I just want you to know, I played a half-orc and kind of rolled in there and just raffle stomped. And it was pretty awesome.
Didn't they leave you behind?
They did leave me behind. And then I still bailed them out, because I'm that kind of person. Austin, I'm so sad I couldn't stay for that. Did anyone else hear Miranda say Dan was her only international friend? Oh, no, my only international friend who came out. Not you. Don't worry, Paul. It's okay. You're British, but you still count. It's fine. Never seen him before in my life. Okay, so the weather was crazy. It was actually kind of perfect. Day one, we have a shuttle we rent, we charter actually, so that everybody arriving from the airport just has a ride to the cabin. They don't have to worry about getting there. And then if you wanted to drive up there, you can do that, and it's fine. So that was on Sunday. Everybody arrived, totally fine. Monday, I think this actually was on Tuesday, but Monday and Tuesday, it just snowed. Like crazy, like 6 or 8 inches of snow. A ton of snow dropped, and it was super beautiful. And it was actually kind of perfect because Monday, Tuesday, everything's taken care of up at the cabin. We didn't lose electricity or heat or anything to be concerned about, so it was just totally chill. Everyone could still just be comfortable and enjoy being there. So it was only a concern if you actually had to go into town for some reason, and you just waited maybe a day. Unless you had 4-wheel. Yeah, exactly. So we had to get some people in. So, sorry this didn't get turned again. But anyway, so Flo's a dance fit coach. And we were like, we're not going to get fat at Valhalla this year. And so we did like a couple of workouts while we were there. And so Dan and my friend Aaron joined us for Dance Fit. And one, it was hilarious, and two,
I kicked their butts, and
it super kicked their butts. Like, Dan was just like pouring sweat afterward. And, you know, on top of being Canadian, so he's used to the cold, he was just like, oh my God, it's too hot, it's too hot. And so he just walks out the back door over by the pool and makes a snow angel in the snow. Not to be outdone, my friend Aaron, who also joined us for dance, did the same thing. And then they had a snowball fight because my friends are super awesome and mature.
I got a nice little clip of Dan throwing snow up above him.
Yes. So again, very beautiful, very picturesque. The only sad thing is no moose. I didn't see any.
No moose. No moosing.
No moosing this year. We saw deer, lots of deer, but
Yes.
no.
We had a
moose.
whole family of deer.
A very intense game of Twilight Imperium happening. I think this was actually the training game. The intense game happened the next day.
If it's the one with me, then yes, it's the training game. Looks like it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was just the training game. Twilight Imperium. Holy cow. I can't believe... I don't know how people, like, tolerate that game. Like, it's so in-depth, and, I mean, it's probably really amazing, but wow, it demands a lot. Snow and shorts. I feel that in my soul, my people. Oh, gosh. Here was me playing some Song of Ice and Fire. So Dan...
Which everybody really liked.
Yeah, so that was kind of the darling...
You're welcome for bringing your copy back.
Well, Dan asked about it in the Valhalla chat. He was like, hey, is anybody bringing that game? And then a bunch of people were like, actually, I do have an army. And so some people did come and bring their armies, and he brought enough to do some demo games. And so this kind of ended up being a little bit of a sleeper hit at Valhalla, you know, in addition to just 40K getting played plenty. There's one game of War Machine that I know of that got played, which was a demo game taught by me. And lots of games of Warcaster. So Warbudgies was very busy with that. And I think you did all right with your Fallout games too. But Song of Ice and Fire, that game's pretty dang fun. I'd never tried it before, so Dan ran me through like a demo game, which I won. So again, important to remember. But yeah, like the tray movement thing is kind of interesting. I've never really played with tray. Like I didn't play early fantasy, and I never really played the proper historical games. So moving stuff around on a tray was unique and fun, and it was interesting. Like the game is simpler than obviously War Machine or even 40K. So it was pretty easy to get into and learn, and it was super fun. So Flo and I are probably going to actually play some more of it when, you know, when we have some space carved out to do that. Did you have a good Valhalla? I had an amazing Valhalla. I always love Valhalla. It's so peaceful and nice.
If you didn't have an amazing Valhalla, you're doing it wrong.
Oh my God, Jeremy. Did you find her? Did you freaking yell at her? Warbudgies, yeah, I think I ran like 5 different Fallout games and at least that many Warcaster. And a lot of people were really on board to kind of learn about Warcaster, and so that was really cool, actually. People were playing that and getting demos and enjoying the demo games and enjoying the models. And it was also fun. So we shot a, I got Dave's permission, again, my Canadian brethren up there, to do a Life of a Wargamer for them. And so that's like sort of the preview shot that we have of a prop that we built for Dan 2 days before we left and finished actually at the cabin because everything got shot in 2 days over there for the short film. So look for that on Mini Wargaming soonish, by a couple weeks, and then we should have that one up. So I'm pretty excited. And then are we back to that? Is that everything in here? Check my folder. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. Whew. Live streams. No, that's not everything. Why is this thing only showing so many? OBS has been a little bit frustrating, not gonna lie. So why aren't you showing me these? Let's see. Almost there, guys. That's 24. I'm going to get rid of all those. All right, so there's that. Here was us filming more of the Life of Wargamer stuff. So crazy, the YouTube bunker gets so hectic. So my friend Erin, Cool Guys Nation, also film buddy. We did our short film Waiting for Yidra back in March together. Just good friend, good guy. He had his birthday, so he shared his birthday with us this Valhalla, and our amazing caterer actually made a cake for him, and it was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. So filling. Yeah. So that was super fun. I was really happy that we got to celebrate that. Another shot from our lovely short film with Dan and I. There we go. There's our group picture. I was joking-ish about winning the faith and glory thing, or eternal glory, because while I did win, just so that's clear, this was the group I was with, even though they abandoned me. Enough so to label it, I think, Team Abandonment was the name of it. Okay, it's my fault. I arrived late because I was busy like scarfing down breakfast or something like that, and I wasn't actually sure of the time. So I walk over and I'm like, "Oh, you guys have started!" And I go over there and I'm like eating my food while I'm playing my half orc. And so they leave me at the beginning while they haul up to go start killing things in the dungeon. And so it took me a little while to catch up. But I never stopped holding it against them, as good friends do. But we won. We won by turn 11, I think. And so it was just barely, because the next place was someone just one more turn. So we did all right. I did enjoy that one. Yeah. There we go. Guess I'm getting a Lannister army. Yes. Lannister, I don't know which army I'd use. I played the Free Folk for my demo game. And I had a lot of fun with them because giants are cool. But that was about it. Hey, Maxicorn. Ah, Maxicorn! So if you've never checked out Maxicorn, he actually does a lot of War Machine War Machine lore. Iron Kingdom's lore. So go check him out because he's cool.
The spider on the table, and it's gone.
Oh god.
It's now underneath the table.
You're the one who didn't want Halloween to end, so. Who's going to Warfare Weekend? Not me. Have a great time, guys.
Yes, yes.
Seeing that prop come together in a matter of hours is kind of incredible. Oh, were you tracking it? I understand, Mexican. Definitely understandable. Is there anything else in my images here? Is it done? Why aren't you playing the rest of these? Hello? There it is. Alright. So after Valhalla ended, the guy who owns the game store, Blackfire Games, is also he's a thespian. He performs at the local theater, and they had a stage play of a musical called Take My Death Away, which is what we watched at this theater here in Spanish Fork, Utah. And that was a really fun experience. I hadn't been to the theater in like a theatrical stage play theater in so long, and they did a really good, fun job. They had some really fun props and some cool music, and it was a fun concept. Obviously about like death and mourning and accepting death and all that good stuff. So that was super fun. And then, not to be outdone, right next door, we found this pawn shop, and it just has the best like tagline on a pawn shop that I've ever seen. So of course I had to take a picture because it's hilarious. So I don't know. It's hilarious, right?
You didn't tell me about that, so.
Surprise. And then, before Dan left, we had to say goodbye. Why is it Dan doing this again? Oh my gosh, this thing is so frustrating. So, fun fact, I will be updating my computer between now and the next time I see you guys. So that'll be super fun and hopefully a little less frustrating in this series. Yeah, just doesn't show one of these video images. All right, anyway, that was that. Ta-da! So that was my sort of wrap up that could have gone a little smoother. So I
We
apologize.
also went to Evermore.
We did. I didn't get pictures of that so much. It was really dark. But yeah, so there's a beautiful park also in Pleasant Grove, Utah called Evermore, which is a year-round Renaissance fantasy themed park, and you can go there, be dressed up or not. They serve food. They have actors there who are NPCs, and you can get quests. So it was a lot of fun. We just got to do like general touristy, decompressing things after Valhalla. Let's see. Mac Attack, did you go see Dune yet? If so, what did you think? I've not seen Dune yet. I was actually going to take my dad to go see it because he read the books. He read the first book. And but he's out of town right now, so once he comes back in, I figured we'll take him to go see the movie together and get his thoughts. So I've been kind of holding off on that one. I think the next one I may go see just on my own might be the new James Bond. I'm kind of curious about that. Let's see. So what about you? So I explained the essence of Dan to my wife when showing her pictures, and she immediately pointed him out in a group photo like, "This is him, isn't it?" James M. I totally missed Kador battle reports. I have something to show you for that too. Pics Miranda has of me would be used in a ritual. The ornithopters looked really cool. Right. I'm actually not totally sure what you're talking about. Ornithopters. I missed such aircraft. Sorry for being late. We were just doing a recap of Valhalla bills slowly as I meandered through this topic. Yes, we found her. She was in the neighbor's house. Usually they don't let her in, but I guess the mom was gone and the dad was okay with it. She wants a Targaryen army so she can burn all our armies. Woo! Yeah. You can just buy the dragons. I've watched Dune 4 times since Valhalla. Oh my goodness, so you like it, I guess. I enjoyed Dune a lot. Saw 007. Hey, Magigora. We saw last night in Soho on... Oh yeah, that's another one I need to see. Nah, I'm behind on my movies now.
It doesn't take long.
No, they're still coming out at a decent rate, so that's definitely a thing. Well, I think it might be worth bringing up another topic real quick. If I can get this slideshow to work properly. Goodness gracious, just driving me freaking nuts. Let's see. I don't know, maybe my computer's just going senile. Who knows? Where did I put it? Maybe it is working real. Studio? No. I literally just made a folder. Did I stick it here for some reason?
Well, while you're doing that, do you want to show them an update?
Yeah, go ahead and show them that.
Alright. Well, here's one of the bases. If it will.
There you go. That's looking good.
And I'm about halfway done with another one, so.
Nice. Nice, nice. Okay, so, made a new personal investment this year, and let's load that one up and see whether or not. So this kind of speaks to the battle report thing because people have asked about it, and I know. And one of the problems that I've typically had here at my house is that it's hard, one, to get people to just come over, and also to get space. There is a very real problem with space in my house, and okay, so obviously I'm just loading this up, so Bear with me a second. I'm going to fix this. Image slideshow. Do that one. And I just don't want to ruin the majesty by having to resize it all in front of you. So it's okay. It's okay. It's coming. It should work. That's the theory. Whew. Nope. Still needs to be resized. Screw this program. All right. So I invested in a studio space for Wargamer Girl, officially. And that happened as soon as we got back from Valhalla. I signed a lease, and I kind of had some investment stuff I had set aside from my personal endeavors, and this is where we're moving to for a while, which means I'm actually, we're sharing the space with Media Glitch too, if you remember them. So we're going to have one set up for Media Glitch. And then the rest of it, that big corner with the, with all of the the shelving, this right here. Oh God, why are you doing that? That shelving is where the gaming table is going to be. So we are going to we're moving into there this week, and I'm very excited and I'm very nervous. But the idea behind this is to actually get more battle reports done. I have outgrown my house with the amount of projects happening, and for those of you who know my personal life, I'm also working on producing a feature, and I'm the costume designer for that. And I've already, there's no space in my house for anything. And so in order to continue getting anything done, this is the investment we've made. And I'm, again, super nervous. But this is what we're trying for. And so the idea is that, do you want to see Space Hulk battle reports? Yes, those are coming. And I actually also just invested in a bunch of stuff to upgrade my computer to make it a little beefier an editing machine. So I can start cranking out videos a little bit easier, because I've started running out of space, and, just it was just needing an update. So I ended up buying a new graphics card for it, which was also a painful endeavor, and updating the RAM, updating memory, space, all those sorts of things. But yeah, so that is battle reports for War Machine, battle reports for Space Hulk, battle reports for 40K. Battle reports for maybe Song of Ice and Fire, anything else people want to see, or anything else that I can get my friend group to do. So we have a crew, and ta-da! That's my investment! So I don't know what to say about that other than I've seen these pictures already. Well, thanks, Jeremy. I know, but you get
special privileges by getting to see things early. Well, I got to see them in person first, so.
Yeah.
That may or may not be my mop bucket in those pictures.
On your basing, by the way, good workflow.
Oh, why, thank you.
Let's see. Andrew, it's weird that I want to go see Eternals, but only because I heard it wasn't a good movie. Oh, I know what you mean. Like when you see critic reviews, you're like, what does that really mean? Eternals, I don't know. I'm kind of burned out of the Marvel universe for a while. I'm not even excited about the new Spider-Man, and I love Spider-Man. So I'll probably get around to it, but it's just, I'm not excited about it anymore. I actually got a Roku for my downstairs TV to watch it on HBO. I don't know if it'll be going back to theaters anytime soon. Aw. Good work, Flo, says Jeremy. Let's see, Mag Attack. Glad everyone had a good time at Valhalla. I caught a couple of Sean's videos, and he seemed engaged. Yeah, he was. I think he felt like. Well, I'm not sure which Sean you meant, because there was a bunch of Seans.
There are 7.
There's multiple Seans of Valhalla this year. Nice to hear about Valhalla. Did anybody have tiny masks on their miniatures? That would be both funny and impressive. To my knowledge, no. Did you say something about Kador battle reports? What have I missed? I know I'm late. Yeah, we'll jump into dynamic updates in a minute. But yeah, so the idea is that I have a studio space, which means it should be easier to have games set up and have a more permanent set for that, and then have people come in, play games, have a good time, and, just hopefully make that flow a little easier. Bills would be happy to come over and game with you, Miranda, but I don't think I could drive there and back in a day from Ohio. That would be pretty tight. But I hear Amtrak. I have no idea if Amtrak even goes from Ohio. Congrats on the studio. Thank you. That is exciting. Media Glitch. They were the ones who did the Zelda vid back in the day. Yes. And then my friend Joel broke his back. So we're going to be moving in, and hopefully he'll be kind of healed up by the time we're ready to film. Wow, you've rented a studio and you're making a film. How long was I asleep? I tend to stay kind of quiet on a lot of things until I hopefully know things are happening. And I know on the internet it looks like I totally move in slow motion. It's just, it's hard to do stuff. Well, it's hard to do all the things and also work a day job because that's also a part of my life. And it's just hard. It looks like an awesome space. I know, I'm super excited. Big commitment. It'll be worth it. I think so. We just have to make sure we use it smartly. Smartly is the word, right? Graphics cards are hell right now. I was lucky to win the Newegg Shuffle for one. Yeah, I wasn't in any shuffle, but I got a 3070 Ti, which is plenty for 2K editing, like more than enough for 2K editing. And then we have a different computer getting built for the film because that has to be a 4K output. Oh, gosh. We're buying so much space. And then, of course, you look at like the stuff happening in the world and you're like, am I going to be able to get chips pretty soon? Like, you got to kind of jump on it now, probably. Jeremy, I'm excited for you all. I hope once my retirement is all finalized and I start getting paid more regularly, maybe I can come and visit and we can get some games in. Oh, heck yeah. It's super fun. What site did you use to download? Did I say download RAM? I'm so sorry. Purchased RAM. Was the space an issue with battle reports or all the editing and voiceover? BTP, Sean. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, he did a great job this year. He was super in the zone. Both, yeah. So physical space has, I'm
like over here like, I can answer that question.
yeah, Flo knows. It's just, there's just so much stuff and only so much workspace, so things are constantly having to get moved to work on anything. It's just hard. And then from a time perspective, the idea, because we're taking like the old parts from my computer to build a different like streaming station kind of stuff to do on a computer at the studio, because that won't need quite as beefy a computer, theoretically. And so that should free up space and maybe help me to organize my time a little better. Because there's something to be said for having a clean space to work in, keeping things tidy, keeping your life organized. And I have failed utterly to do that over the last few years, and this is me attempting to get out of that. So, I was gonna sleep. Gonna get some sleep. Early flight. We'll finish editing that battle report when I get back. Safe travels. Man, have fun at Warfare Weekend. I look forward to seeing your, I assume you'll do some sort of vlogs of it. Francis, hello, I was surprised to catch you live. I just want to say that you're a big part of me finally starting to get into Wormahordes. No models yet, because it's difficult, but soon. Oh, how exciting. Bless you, Flo.
What?
Toxic. Bills, while you were gone, I went to Traveler Con and ran 4 RPGs. One of them got a small mention in an obscure blog. I feel so amazed. Ooh, well, that's nice. Nightwar Budgies. Freakdom, the 3070. Apparently you can't even get a 3080. So this is my purchasing of a graphics card is like, okay, I have 1 hour. Let's research what I need to. Here's the motherboard and all this stuff. PC parts picker. Oh my gosh, was that my friend? It's like, okay, is this compatible? What's this compatible? Like, what's the best like bang for my buck kind of thing I can get? Also, what's in stock? And yeah, so that was a fun bit of purchasing. And ow. So yeah, new studio and all that. So that's been a wild ride. It's been a busy year, even though it doesn't look like it. And the flip side of that should be getting a bunch of cool stuff online for you guys. So yes, I will probably also be revisiting my Patreon on all of that too, because the people who have supported me there have been darlings, and I need to make sure they get some recognition for that. So yeah. All right. Well, you kind of already recently gave an update on your stuff. Let's give a hobby update. Where are you guys at? What's the hobby status? What do you the thing you're working on right now? Progress check. That was it. Let's see, Twisted. I understand having to set up before you work on any project does make it a lot harder to make progress. Yeah, and I've been going down this rabbit hole of like all these self-improvement videos about setting up systems in your life and sort of when to expend your energy. And it's like, first thing in the morning, you're just doing a bunch of mundane tasks like cleaning to get to a space. You actually lose like a lot of momentum in order to get stuff done. So whether or not I will really implement all of these self-help guides, I don't know. But there's usually like glimmers of advice that I can actually incorporate, and that is what I'm going for. So we'll see. But I've got my friend Flo with me, and she'll help keep me on task because she can be a drill sergeant sometimes.
I'll ask first if that's what you want.
It's true. It's true. I think. Is that generally true? It's probably true.
Yeah. No. I mean, unless I'm teaching you a game, then you better listen.
I listen.
I'm not talking about you particular.
Oh, okay. So Flo spends a lot of time teaching probably board games, right, to your friends? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And what drives me nuts is when they interrupt you for a question you're about to answer. So just let me finish, and then if you have questions, we'll answer questions.
One, then the other, but not both at the same time.
Well, then you throw off the whole pattern I had to teach you the game. That made more sense.
But yeah, the whole rhythm. Oh, I know. I still remember when I was, teaching games is interesting. In fact,
I have a lot of patience for it, though.
That's good. Although I think it's easier to have a lot of patience for brand new players as long as they seem engaged and interested. So, ho-hum. All right, I have to get along. Take care. Thanks, Mac Attack, for popping by. Appreciate you being here. Jeremy, I would love to attend TravelerCon sometime. I had the books for years, but finally started a game. It seems like when we only get to game once a month for about 45 minutes. Oof, that's short. Francis, I live in Southeast Asia, and I've known Iron Kingdom / Warmahordes for about half a decade now. But wargaming is an expensive hobby. However, Wartable was a great help. Yeah, and if you're just wanting to learn the rules for that, then, it's free, and you can play anywhere, so that's super awesome. Are you into the RPG at all? Because the RPG is now out, and it's a PDF. Jeremy, everything is back together. And I'm 5 turrets from finishing my last group of T55 AMs. Nice. Andrew, working, but I have enough vacation days to take off most of the rest of the year. Do you have to spend it by the end of the year, or does it roll over? Bills, I spent some time painting more of my 10mm Hittite army. Got 12 figures done today. 12 figures seems like a really good progress. Yeah. Seems super impressive. Mandragora, I don't know if I shared, but I finished my Chaos Knight. Glued the rear shoulder artwork to his pauldrons. Ooh, that sounds lovely. I haven't admittedly checked my Facebook in a little while, so if you did post it there, I haven't seen anything there yet, but I can look at it after this. Plunder's Den, I'm working on a unit of British freebooters for a secret Santa gift with another community member. Oh, that's cute. What's the movie you're producing? It's totally
unnamed.
Complete indie picture. Yeah, it's unnamed, but I can tell you that it is a medieval fantasy, which will be very interesting to shoot in New Mexico. But we actually already have some locations, so I'm not actually that worried about it. It's just kind of funny to say because you think of New Mexico as like a desert where Breaking Bad happened, or a place that usually looks like the Middle East. But there's actually some dynamic terrain around here.
Some.
I won't do more until I get my first Armiger War Dogs. Ah, nice. Brian, assembling Stormcast Vanquishers and Vigilers at the moment. 20 models in total. Good old assembly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so for those of you who might remember, I still have my super old Stormlord tank that I haven't touched because I got horribly intimidated by it. But now that I have my little Lehman Russes, I feel like I can really start there and then put together my Valkyrie, which I'm so excited. I don't know, like I love mechanized infantry. I love mechanized forces like tanks. But in 40K, there's just something about the whole air wing division that really captures my imagination. The idea of the Valkyries and Vendettas flying around and a Marauder flying in. Just like, I don't know, it sounds so amazing to me. And it's funny because I love big stompy robots, and you'd think I'd be like all over Imperial Knights. And they're super cool, but they just don't feel quite the same way as like flying in with an air wing to me. So we'll see what happens first. Rory. Oh, I live in Southeast Asia too. We have a Warmahordes meta of 5 people. Technically, one lives in Singapore, so we play as well. Oh, nice. Shipping to Borneo is a problem. Well, is there a game store or anything that gets stuff? Oh, man, that must be hard. Is it extra hard now, getting supplies, or does eBay help at all, or just shipping to that location is just cost prohibitive? Francis, the release of the RPG was what reminded me of all this. Then I started searching for bat reps and found yours, which helped me understand the rules a bit better. Aww. Now, the new battle reports are going to look a bit different because the rules have changed a lot, which we can get to here in just a moment, because there was a huge dynamic update for Warmahordes. And it's totally free to look at online. It's on the Privateer Press website, and give that a go. Fairbanks, only 5 vacation days roll over, and I had 15 after taking 10. Everything rolled last year due to COVID. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll post an image to today's announcement. Make it easy for you. It's weird for me because I'm back at the stage where I need to buy before I can paint. Literally been decades since I was there. Whew! That is a crazy. All right, so let's do this. That's the studio. Dynamic update. Okay. So this dropped October 21st, and I was kind of poking around at it after Valhalla, and I'm curious to see how long this goes. I mean, the rumor I heard was that we're not doing CID anymore. This is kind of going to be it for a while. Which means that everyone can kind of catch their breath and get these new rules, and incorporate all of this, and make their new war room lists, and hopefully just be happy for a while. That's the hope. So the big thing that you can glean from and this is really long, so obviously I don't think we'll get through quite all of it, but they did a whole bunch of stuff in War Budgies. I think you already, well, I don't know if you're still here or not, but they gave some really fun stuff to Menath, which I think you will enjoy if you ever play. But across the board, you see points decreases. Just about every model got cheaper, except for Archons, which was fine. Archons were completely overpowered. The Void Archon was nonsense, very frustrating to fight, and if a model's no fun to play against, it should probably get changed. Let me check on the chat here. Whoa. I've recently discovered that there is not a mail system in every country in the world. Delays are worse with COVID, but it is generally problematic. The game store here only does Warhammer and Age of Sigmar, which is fine. They still let us play once in a while. Get to show off Grimkin and Crix, while I laugh maniacally. The hobby is expensive, and shipping is even more expensive. Ugh. Yeah, no, War Table makes a lot of sense for that. So the promise made by Faye here at Privateer is that they're not trying to nerf your favorite stuff. They're not trying to make things less fun. They're trying to shore up weaknesses and make things that people really didn't play before more attractive to play. They made a bunch of Warjacks cheaper. They also gave quite a bit more Warjack points to Warcasters to, I think, start putting more models on the board, which is going to be interesting because if the games are all played at 75 points generally, you're going to have really packed boards. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. And with all the steamrollers being, I think they're all now killbox anyway, like you really have to keep a lot of stuff way up on the board too. And maybe it's designed to make it more of a hostile game, like maybe hostile is the wrong word, but a more violent, like the game, you see more models die faster. Maybe it's designed to do that. A more severe game? I don't know. Have you guys tried Battletech at all, playing or painting it? Neither, although Albuquerque apparently has a very strong Battletech meta. You'd never know it because they don't show up to the game store, but it's there. And Battletech's one of those interesting games, and one that I tend to point out to whenever there's the argument made that game companies need to constantly be putting out models and constantly updating their rules in order to keep players engaged, because Battletech only does a little bit of that. They're not constantly putting out new stuff, and they seem fine. So, yeah, it's like my counter argument, but I haven't actually played Battletech. I did meet a really lovely group of Battletech players when I was at Genghis Con last year, right before COVID shut everything down. So, yeah. Okay. There's some complaints about Bethane to nerf, whatever. Changing to the wording of shield wall, shield guard, and sacrificial pawn changes. So, and Iron Flesh got changed, which was like the big thing to note. All of the updates went live on October 25th, which means that everybody playing at Warfare Weekend this weekend will be under all of this new rule set, including all of the updates to the theme forces, which I guess I hadn't looked at theme forces in a long time because Cater had some new ones, and some of those theme benefits are bananas. So, big thing to know if you're playing Warmahordes, don't play out of theme or it will be terrible. Just, you have to play in theme, basically. If your opponent is, if you're in a tournament, or if your opponent's playing in theme, you absolutely lose out if you are not in a theme force of some kind. So, keep that in mind. Hello from Sweden. Well, hello there, Brigitta. Welcome. Appreciate you hanging out. Aw, dang, you should try it. We need more painting tutorials. I mean, I'd give it a go. It's, robots. How do you go wrong? So,
painting tutorials means that's going to me.
It's true. She can do it.
So she needs to buy the models and get them ready. And
then we can set it up at the studio where you can sit and paint, and it can be like Flo's painting corner or, I don't know, whatever. And so, these possibilities, guys. These possibilities. All right, so, jumping down, here was just the text they created for all of these base rules. Again, shield guard, shield wall, shield guard, and sacrificial pawn. Here you see on Signar, and this is most of the Warcasters too, there are Warjack points, which, for those of you who are not familiar, your leader character, when you build an army, is the warlord, the leader of your entire army. And they have Warjack points associated with them, which are extra points outside of whatever point size game that you're playing that are only used for the purchase of Warjacks, because they want to encourage you to bring Warjacks and not just bring like an infantry spam of stuff. So generally you're seeing 2 to 3 Warjacks that can come for free in addition to your 50-point list or 75-point list, whatever you have, for the purpose of building it out. So you can almost think of it as adding points to your list, except you have to use them for Warjacks, if that makes sense. I really do miss the days before theme forces. Yeah, there's a lot of opinions I have on that. Like, theme forces are fine, I guess. And it's kind of funny because, 8th edition? Because it's 9th edition now, but I think they started in 8th edition where they had theme forces, like their battle-forged armies, obviously taken from War Machine. So it's kind of funny to see that back and forth. Let's see. No prob for me. My favorite Warcaster is Ashland, so I have lots of themes and a grand total of 4 factions I could get units from. That's fair. Miranda's a paradox. She loves the giant stompy robots and yet hasn't played the iconic granddaddy game that personifies the genre. Oh, I know. The problem is there's still only 24 hours in a day. And I guess my introduction, I knew about 40k and played a little bit before discovering War Machine, but the attraction to War Machine was the robots. So yes, I will have to go down the historical route at some point and play some Battletech. Oh damn, Kane's finally Gun Mage now, right? Which he obviously should have been. So they fixed that. He gives the Gun Mage characteristic as well as Kara Sloan. So they're both Gun Mages now. Everyone got more Warjack points. Darius's feet got better. Victoria Haley's stuff got changed a little bit. you know, general. So Dallin Sturgis got, I mean, his positive charge seems a whole lot better now. He's got some cool, more gamey stuff, but more stuff. Yeah, so Kane, regular Kane is also a gun mage. Everyone getting up in Warjack points. 29 Warjack points for Major Haley. It's pretty crazy. Force field, so I can't remember the original wording of it, but it's probably a lot like Iron Flesh was. So the spellcaster gains blast resistance. So blast resistance is now replacing immunity to blast damage. So instead of just not rolling anything at all, you get +4 armor against it. And then all of the rest of the stuff. So the change to that, I think, is overall positive. In a way, it slows gameplay down because now you're rolling a lot more dice, but it also gives you more of a chance to break through things, because just being flat immune to blast damage is, I mean, it's a little weird. Maybe it doesn't make the total amount of sense. And here you see these points getting cut across the board. Not by a whole lot, let's say, but you know, Dynamo seems a little bit, I think Rate of Fire is better than the Multi-Fire. -1 or 2 points on everything. Stormwall got cheaper. Thornwall got cheaper. Triumph got cheaper. The Stormstrider got cheaper. The Blockhouse got cheaper. So a lot of that stuff. Warjacks do have a lot more character in them than Battletech mechs. It's that Iron Giant feeling. Yeah, which is like one of my most dear movies, for sure. I don't like theme forces, but that's because I like a little of everything in my casual armies. Chicks dig giant robots is the only reasonable explanation. Sounds legit, Andrew. So theme forces, I think it really comes down to who's carving them out. And I think giving free models in theme forces complicates things because it encourages a very annoying min-max behavior in list building, because despite everything they're going to do here, people are still going to come out and say, well, this is the garbage list and this is the only list worth playing if you're doing anything competitive, blah blah blah. You gotta get a lot of the same problems. So I don't know that it necessarily solves a lot of their problems, but we'll see. Mandragora, I was into Mech Warrior Dark Age 15 years ago. Now that game is dead. Now that game is dead, I feel like I'm done, you know? Not starting up a second entire new range. Yeah, that's fair. We're gonna get more use of blast units now. Yeah, so blast units, I mean, +4 armor is no joke. And blast damage is still half the POW, so it's gonna be hard, but it gives you something, especially when you're dealing with low armor troops. I mean, you think of Widowmakers or Kayazi, and you want to throw blast damage templates on them. They're gonna have Iron Flesh, you know, potentially. And so their armor is only like 12, so it being 16, you can kind of crack that with a blast damage roll if it's good enough, or if you can boost it. And so it's probably a pretty good mix. I like that one. And Brickhouse is getting -2, yeah. It might finally be playable with the Warcasters bonded to. Yeah, which I think might be a little bit of, like, they really underutilized bonds. Like, it's kind of there as a legacy thing from, what, edition 1? So, we'll see what happens. Solos went down in points. Allison Jakes gained dual attack. Bastion Falk in the Gun Mage keyword. Gwen Keller changes to her Force Barrier rule. Okay, so Patrol Dog went to FA2, also down in points. Trenchmaster down in points across the board. Arcane Tempest Gun Mages are down in points. Probably going to see a lot more Gun Mages. Black 13th is down in points. Field Mechanics down. Everything here went down. It's bananas. Every Genista? Yeah. So there you go. There's all of that stuff. Now, you're gonna again start seeing some thicker armies with more models, which, you know, some of us have a whole lot of extra models, so maybe that makes sense. Protectorate got some, I think they got some love. Like, Priestess of the Flame, that Dauntless Resolve is nice. Ember Spark, you can set things on fire again, because that's what Fiora does. Amon-Raza can upkeep his spells for free now. Soul Ward seems... Can't actually remember the first rule of Soul Ward, but, you know, that's fine. Like, 5 inches to deny Soul Collection is valuable. And it's funny, because it doesn't deny Corpse Collection, which me, as a Grimkin player, is the only, like, that's what I care about. Resnick got harder to hurt, and he gained 5 boxes. Theme Forces play too much into War Machine's hardcore gamers. I think that's hurt them with bringing in new players over time. That is a good point. And that's kind of been the classic problem, right? Like, there's 2 distinct audiences asking for stuff, asking for representation in War Machine. And I don't know that both are really listened to. They're generally not. And so it's almost like it's worth having just a totally different, you know, the way they did Journeyman Leagues, but maybe, like, not as annoying, where you just have, like, a fluffier or different rule set. I mean, they would get new players if they got rid of the cast or kill mechanic, and I know that's controversial, and my mind has been changed on it because I've seen so many of the fields bad face and new players for that. We just don't need that. Testament of Manoth got a little bit of change. Yeah, so a lot, I mean, there's a lot of stuff getting switched around in Protectorate. Mostly I noticed the Dauntless Resolve, like Fiora particularly getting stronger. So I don't know if she wasn't getting a lot of play before or what, but there you go. And then more stuff. Jax, again, subtraction to points costs and everything. Eye of Truth went down, like the character Jacks are even way down in price. Hey, Saron. Excuse you, Triumph's boosted attack and damage when it's bonded to Siege has won me the most of the few games I've played as Signar. That's awesome. Twisted. It's always been it's strange to me that War Machine has such a strong world and so many characters driving it. The game caters mostly to players who don't care about any of that. Yeah, that's been a frustrating conversation I've had at cons too. I still remember one dude was like, I just make up my own lore. And like another competitive player was like, no, I read the lore. And then the other guy's like, well, I do too. Like, I don't know what that whole relationship is. But enjoying the lore of a game and enjoying the gameplay of a game do not have to be mutually exclusive. I think Games Workshop has thoroughly proved that. And not to say everybody needs to be GW.
God,
but
don't everybody be GW.
No, please don't let everybody. Yes, I agree with that. Except, do the smart things that they are doing, because you get tired of gameplay after a while and you want to just hobby, or you get tired of hobbying and maybe you want to read the lore. Like, having a way of keeping people engaged in your content, engaged in your IP, is so, so valuable. And like, I think it's just hard for them. Like, I know I'm sure they want to do it. The resounding success of Iron Kingdom's Requiem, plus the resounding success of their Borderlands and Outlands one, like the additional RPG for the for like the Wilds, shows that people really love the lore. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. I think they're going the right direction there. Just they got to reconcile War Machine and Iron Kingdoms now. I know, right? The game story has been so good. Yeah. It's interesting because as a new player, the theme force sort of helped me limit my vision, and I think it's okay. I only need to focus on these types. Yeah, that's an interesting counterpoint. But I mean, there's a lot of overlapping models, which definitely can be helpful for that, but there's still so many choices between your requisition forces and the models that you can get for free. I mean, do you think it's saving you like some real money there? What time do you typically start streaming now? 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Mountain Daylight Time, New Mexico, Mountain Time, yeah. So I started this stream an hour and 15 minutes ago, and I have 15 more minutes left in it. Personally, hyper-competitive wargaming has really hurt all games in my opinion. That's why I began solo wargaming. It was liberating. Solo wargaming. So are you talking about, is it games like Frostgrave? The ones where you play against just sort of the game system and you can play by yourself? Because that's fine for practice, but at least in my view, like, wargaming is a social engagement. And so I just don't like the idea of having to play a game in such a way where you can't also be social. Like, I've been in the friendlies tournament, not the grand tournaments, not the GT or anything for 40K, like a friendly doubles. So, like, Aaron and I just went into a friendly doubles. There's, like, 400 people there playing. But you're, like, the rules are simple enough that you can just do this move and that move and this move and that move, and then chat with the other person and kind of just have a good time, like, hanging out socially. And that seems to me like the beauty of it. And it's nice that they have different kinds of tournaments for what people want. But that one, like, really stood out to me as really fun. Because, again, you play War Machine, you're on a death clock. You are very limited on your time. And so you spend all of your talking time just explaining the specific moves that you're making and announcing any of the specific tokens that you're putting out or spells that you're casting to make sure you don't oopsie a thing. So you really can't be social with the other person until the very end. Hopefully, you or the other person didn't win on some, like, annoying tactic that just sort of leaves you feeling sour. And then you can have some, like, interaction at that point, but it's very limited. Oh, I almost forgot. Have you seen all the new Sororities models? Yeah. Been floating between the floating pulpit robo-suits, the Paragon armor, yeah. With the Quadro arms and the new kill team, Chalnath Initiates. They've caught up for 20 years. Yeah, the new drop of sisters are genuinely very beautiful looking. But I've been collecting Imperial Guard. So I'll get around to them at some point. Oof, they are cost prohibitive. Like, I'm going to have to wait on them, but they are beautiful. And in fact, one of the things in the new studio that will actually really help me out is being able to organize the stuff I have. Like, here's all my Catachan, and here's all my Sisters of Battle, and here's the stuff I can put together. Here's the AdMech that I've got. Like, I've got multiple different armies because I was collecting the different box sets over time. So I've got, like, Orcs and Necrons and AdMech, and so it just it's getting really full. So organizing that may help. So maybe we'll see some of those coming out. And I only have a couple of the newer models. If they made the lore easier to get, it would help. Malifaux Tales of Malifaux really makes it easy for me to get into the world. Is that, like, just their website? Like, you're just reading it online? I want to know more. Sarah, I haven't played a game in quite a while, but I'm still quite hooked on the book series. Nice. Let's see, running out of more different Greebly STLs. That's what I think the release of IK Requiem is very wonderful to see. I personally made a goal to make that Summer League model of Warcaster Silena Rafael a reality. A NIST caster, imagine that. Yeah. No, I just play Warhammer or whatever by myself. It's very narrative. Okay. I've done the social aspect for years, and I still play with very few friends every now and then, but never at stores anymore. Okay.
No, stores.
I mean, if you've kind of been there.
Stores are kind of.
It depends. It definitely depends on the store. Depends on the meta. Like, that's always the complicated part, because people are people, and sometimes you get along with them, but sometimes you don't, and it
Sometimes
usually
they
happens in
suck.
groups. Sometimes they're not so nice to you. I don't know. There's things. And so, but you've had that experience. You know what you're looking for in a game at this point. So I genuinely hope you are getting some joy out of that. Tales of Malif was a podcast that basically just audiobooks of their stories. Oh, that's a great idea. Ooh, talk about cost prohibitive. I fell in love with one Chaos Knight I want, but it's the $580 Porphyrion. Never thought I'd fall in love with this as a retirement only Grail level model. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's intimidating. Oof. Let's see here. I haven't moved on that a bit. That's okay. She's holding the base. We'll look at it in a few more minutes when we wrap up, and we'll see her fancy base.
Sorry.
It's all good. The battle engines went down in price again, so helpful. Again, you're going to see Larger armies. Solos. Ooh, deliver arms master gains artillerist. Handy. Let's see, Daughters of the Flame keyword, blast resistance, and elite cadre. So Nicaea grants blast resistance. That's helpful, because those Daughters of the Flame are wearing, like, paper armor. Paladin, the Order of the Wall, gained armor, so that's really handy, because I assume they still have their +4 armor wall. +4 armor star action. More stuff there. Daughters of the Flame went down in price. Again, everything here going down in price. Alright, let's look at the important one. Let's check out Kalo. Kador! Oh my gosh.
I'm starting to say Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren, yeah. Hey, Red Green. Hi there, so what's doing me? You're doing some... Oh, you're making, like, girl Imperial Guard? Yeah, that's actually what I like about my Catachan. I can get all sassy with my guard. Jeremy, I actually prefer solo games anymore. I like telling a story, and sometimes it's easier to do with a game you can rely on, not somebody playing win at all costs. So much of that comes down to the social contract you have with the other person, right? And I think it's pretty universal that people want to win games, but to the degree at which they want to do so needs to be understood by both players. It's important. And because these games, they're, they can teach you stuff, and they can teach you, like, strategy, quick arithmetic, pre-measuring, distances.
People suck.
Memorization. But they're also designed they should be social, and they should also be a way of, like, being able to engage with other humans and even learn to do it correctly. It's just part of life. I mean, it's really like anything. Why would anybody want to play with you if you're going to be a jerk? And, I mean...
And some people just don't get it.
But some people don't, or, it can be...
Many people.
Thank you, Flo. Okay, it's hard. Let's see. There we go with Kador. Yes, with Kador. Of course, they're the best faction. But look at this and think, can this fight a Warhound Titan on its own? A Thunderhawk gunship, a Baneblade, Dance Stomp a Fred? That would be fun. Okay, Red Green. You do you, man. Sorcha gained some more jack points. Zurkova got a little bit better. She can use her Rod of Whispers at range 12, which is actually decently useful. However, before she was able to make the model move and then channel spells, now it can only change its spacing, so that's not quite as good. I don't know why you would nerf something like Zurkova. I think that's a weird choice. But maybe the range 12 makes up for that difference, because I want to say she was range 10 before. The explanation of Iron Flesh, now it's blast resistance plus 2 armor. That's pretty dang good, actually. Because, yeah, it's... Do those stack? Is that like 6 armor against? Oh, yeah, that's still going to be really hard to bust through. Sorcery gains of regulars. Medium-based mana war can be included in an army. Yay. Iron Flesh again. Malakov. I don't generally care about because I hate who he is, and I don't like his character, and so I don't own him. But his spell is actually really good, because you get to treat both the front arc and the back arc as the back arc. So it's a good minus defense. You also can gain backstab, so I guess there's a lot of benefits there if you're running them with Kayazi. Commander Ursus Zoctavia. Don't know what model variant that's supposed to be. I mean, obviously it's a typo, but it's kind of funny. It made me laugh. It's like, who? Is that like his mom? But anyway. So Butcher Unleashed, more Warjack points, Sacrificial Lamb changed a little bit. Solid Ground, while in the spellcaster's control range, friendly faction models cannot become knocked down and gain blast resistance. That's pretty dang good. And then Windstorm got changed a little bit. Beast 09 will be seeing more play. Oh, he's such a fun model too. So -2 there. Behemoth got super cheap, and the subcortex is so much better now because okay, I say that. Like, you could put more focus on him, but this, I think, is overall more useful because it gets all the benefit to all of the weapons. Black Ivan, cut evasive and point blank, gain dual attack. Okay, I liked evasive, but whatever. Conquest got cheaper. Dozer gained batter. I'm actually not familiar with batter. Demolisher. Let's see, armored shell. This model makes a basic or throw. Ooh, interesting. Drago got a little bit cheaper. Grolar got a little bit cheaper. Kodiak got a little cheaper. Fleet on the Mad Dog. All this good stuff. Yeah. So, generally enjoying it. Now, I have Sofia Skirova. I have not put her together because she's supposed to be leader of the Black Dragons. I haven't put them together. And I have Iron Fang Pikemen, and I haven't put them together. And I have my Iron Fang from my Winter Guard Rifle Corps, which I also have to put together. So I have so many more Kador models I actually have to work on, which is kind of exciting. And guess what will be happening in the new studio? So, bear with us, because I guess there will be a fair number of hobbying to get to that point where the games can be ready, because I'm not going to do a battle report with unpainted models if I can help it. Yeah, so that's pretty fantastic. Let's check on the chat. Ew, other humans. I'm cool not dealing with other humans unless I know them. All right, if I see some speed improvements in the Kadoran Jacks. No, I don't think we're gonna get that. That's too much in the theme. So Octavia is his mom. We need more battle moms, right? Ursus Octavia is the even weirder Ursus 5 model. Oh gods, Behemoth got cheap. Yeah, so good. Do you think Privateer will ever do Warm Hordes Mark IV with new starters, or do you think the brand is too damaged for stores to pick it up again? I don't think it can ever be too damaged to be salvaged. And I've had disagreements with other people that I discussed this with, where they think that it's like, no, just nuke it and just start over. But no, it's a recognizable brand. Lord knows you can watch like GW just, I mean, they're making like scented candles now. Like, it's not like they're making amazing branding decisions either. They're just so established. And War Machine's been around for 21 years now. Like, that whole environment, that world, has been around for a really long time. So I don't think it's ever going to be too damaged. I don't know what they can do to make it too damaged to actually be salvageable. It's just, they probably just need to kind of let it simmer for a bit. And I wonder if that's what this is. Because if things just simmer with this current points and current rule set, this is my theory, because again, no one talks to me, so I have no insider information or anything to share with you. Totally my speculation. If they just let this simmer for a while and kind of see what's happening with the meta and gaming and all that, they're probably going to put some focus into Warcaster and they keep developing that. See what starts happening with Iron Kingdom's Requiem and all of the Iron Kingdom's RPG world. Then I think they could come out with a successful Mark IV that has a more, I don't know, like casual player friendly rule set. I could see them revising it like a few years down the road and just coming out the gate with, you know, this really established Iron Kingdoms lore that hopefully has gotten built up and then showing off all these really beautiful, cool new models that they've got with new starter boxes and a whole new rule set. Yes, I can see that happening eventually, but it's not going to be fast. I imagine it will take some time. You got to kind of get people just not necessarily associating War Machine with like rude players or anything like that. And maybe they're learning a bit from that still and seeing what's happening with the RPG. But yeah, I can see it coming up again. Sorry, they got what to do. Yeah, no matter the ruckus or the scandal GW causes, their IP is beloved. Oh, to the death. I mean, it's kind of cartoonish how defended it is. And, you know, they're fine.
It is cartoonish.
They're fine. But it's, you know. I'll never worship at the feet of any brand. So, that's just... Rifle Corps got cheaper. Again, everything down the line got cheaper. Ooh, I can start playing with some Assault Commandos. Grey Lord Adjunct. I don't think I have the Adjunct. Because why would I really mess with Grey Lords? I don't keep Doom Reavers or anything like that anyway. Ooh, so the last part of the sentence for Grape Shot becomes and gains assault, and the range of its blunderbuss becomes spray 8 instead of range 8. Right. So there's that. More changes for Crix. Crazy stuff. Oh, but we're basically out of time. So we got through the important faction, you know, Khador and all that. But if you want to check it out, just go to the Privateer Press website and you can see the Horde, War Machine Horde's quality of life dynamic update. It's quite long. But if you're, you know, obviously still doing War Room, check it out because it will affect your new rules. Probably worth, if you use War Room and have the app for building lists, probably worth just rebuilding those lists over again because there's enough changes here that you'd have to make pretty dramatic adjustments to fix your list. So maybe just like write down or screenshot or whatever you kind of, the models you had in there, and then just build it as a new list. So that would be my quick recommendation for that. So yeah, I'm so excited. All right, well, I guess we can get a final... Ooh. Sorry, I was looking at the Grimkin. Okay, well, let's give a final look at Flo's progress and then call it a night, shall we? Ooh, I see 4 bases. There are 4 lights.
Do-do-do. Ah. So, kind of trying to get up close to it.
Are any of them at different stages? Like, this one's obviously at its own stage.
The other ones are fairly close to done.
Okay.
Do-do-do.
Yeah, there you go. Got it. Many excellent changes in the dynamic update. I think it's helpful. It's overall going to help their brand. Why would it be damaged? Oh, just like, it's not the... I don't think it's even the game company. They're things, but whatever. It's just like the meta reputation. GW does have the incumbent advantage, kind of like Disney. That's true. Really don't want Mark IV. Mark II lasted for so long and it was so good. The worst that can happen is that they make people think a new MK might drop every 3 years. I think it's going to be inevitable. It's not, I mean, I don't know, we'll see, but I don't imagine there's a good way around it because at some point they are going to have to make changes to the type of meta that gets built around this game. Yeah, no matter the ruckus, yeah. Might want to look at Khador once more. I've always been interested in playing the Iron Kingdom Sun Tzu. I deleted everything before the update to start from 0. Good call. In my opinion, War Machine Hordes, I refuse to call it that clunky War Hordes. I hate that name. Fair enough. Needs a mainstream hit and a more accessible venue. They need their Dawn of War and Space Marine for the new fans. Oh, I 1000% agree with you, Mandragora. Like, if they had, like, a really fun... I don't know if they have to do an RTS, but they could do, like, I don't know, all kinds of fun stuff in a video game world. They could even make, like, a beat-em-up or a fighter game. Or an RTS or whatever with their floor. Like, they should... It seems like it would make sense to make some more video games. My newly painted Warpwolf Skinwalkers dropped down to 13 points with 3 points for the alpha. Good lord. These look really good. Yeah, the bases do look lovely. I'll post a few screenshots of the dropship to the Facebook page when I'm done with the upper section. Yay! Awesome. Well, guys, I'm going to call it here. It's a little after 9, actually. I got carried away. So thank you all for hanging out and sharing in my, sharing the story of Valhalla, and I'm excited about the studio. So actually, the next live stream is supposed to happen, and it'll be on November 17th, is supposed to happen at the new studio. So we'll see if we can get it all working in time. But either way, I'm super excited to see us move into this new venue. So thank you guys all for hanging out with me and putting up with the fact that all I've done is these videos for a while. But I have plans to make it up to you, and I'm already working on it, so I'll see you guys later. Oh, goodness. All right, I'm getting drawn into this. I guess Privateer aren't as confident with a thing like Dawn of War. But Tactics was even fundraised. Like, they shouldn't have lost much money on that. I started my freebooters, but over the past 2 weeks, I did complete my Pirate Sloop of War. I'm really happy how it turned out. Yes, I definitely want to see your pictures. I love the idea of Vormihord beat 'em up. Everyone rushes for the butcher, right? It seems so fun. Like, there's just so many personalities in there. Anyway, have a great night. Thanks, Melinda, for popping in. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you, Twisted.
Goodbye.
We'll see you. See ya.